Hey everybody, welcome to Houdini Hangout. We're nearing the end of the year here. We're in the end of December, so yeah, hope you're doing great out there. My name's Peter. I host this stream, and yeah, I hopefully tonight we'll get into some fun stuff where we'll be making a little procedural tree and kind of mess around with some stuff there. Um, yeah, we don't have I don't have like a ton of stuff to talk about. I can't believe it's the end of the year already. Um, things are things are kind of progressing along well, I guess for me. Hopefully everybody's having a great winter so far, or I guess we're just about to get to winter because that probably officially starts on the 21st. But it has already started snowing in my town. In fact, it's snowing maybe now or today. So hey Johannes, welcome. Hey there. Um, yeah, so tonight we're going to be looking at some procedural tree stuff, and we'll be doing that using the SideFX Labs tools. It's not anything groundbreaking or new or anything like that. I just was playing with it the other day, and I thought it'd be a fun thing to do. I happened to be, making a Christmas tree, and I just thought this could be a cool thing to mess around with on the stream and just see if anybody has any questions or things like that. So yeah, should be a fun thing to play around with, and we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, like I said, I kind of can't believe the year is drawing to a close here. We've got a couple more weeks. For me, in North America, and I'm going to be celebrating Christmas in a week, and then New Year's, and then there we go, 2025. So anyways, yeah, I mean we're just cranking along, but yeah. So for tonight, sorry, just getting some messages there. Hey KG, how's it going, man? Welcome. Just muting all my devices so they're not buzzing at me. I forgot to do that. So yeah, I don't really, like I said, I don't have a lot of stuff to talk about really, but if you guys have any questions or thoughts tonight while we're going through this, please feel free to drop a message in the chat, and we'll try to figure out the Natsura toolset. I mean, the answer is no. I'm not sure what that is. Might be interesting. I don't know what that is. Interesting. I'm not sure what Natsura is, but no, I don't think, no, we're not going to be messing with that tonight. Hi, Carlos. Welcome. No, just going to be using the old labs tools and things like that. I'm sure there's probably better things to play around with. I guess if anybody has any suggestions for other things to do, that one looks like you have to be in the beta or something like that. So I wouldn't be able to do that even if I wanted to download it right now. But if there are other tools we should be looking at, I'm all ears, I guess. But I don't know of any free ones that are out there that we might use. So yeah, I'm just going to use the free ones that I have that are in Houdini and that everybody has access to. No, it's good. Hi, Sprawa. No, it's good evening for me. I'm on the East Coast of the U.S. It is 6:05 p.m. for me, so it's not good morning. It is not. So yeah, hello, welcome. Right. So, so yeah. So if you guys have any questions or thoughts or anything like that, feel free to drop them in the chat. If you're having a question or thought about something, most likely somebody else is as well. So there's always, please feel free to bring up those thoughts or questions or whatever that you have. Obviously, there's no stupid Houdini questions here. Happy to take any and all questions, thoughts, comments, ways that I'm doing things wrong or dumb things that I could do better. Like I said, happy to hear any and all feedback. So yeah, I guess with that all being said, I guess let's dive in. Let's start doing some Houdini stuff. Nice dramatic fade there because I didn't change my thing, but there we go. All right, so the first thing we should probably do is look for some reference. Let's see. I think it's fir tree is mainly what Let's see if I can. I think it's a Douglas fir Christmas tree. Let me see if I can find a good image of one here. It's decently close up. No, that one. Let's see here. We're gonna grab this over here and just so I'm not searching on my own here. Let's see. That's a fake one, but interesting. Well, that's kind of cool to look at. That's kind of good reference. I was actually messing around with this when I was at a friend's house. We were house sitting for them, and they actually had a live Christmas tree, so I was like looking at it and making stuff with it. But let me just see if I can say Douglas fir. Oops, Douglas fir tree might be a little easier to check out here. Let's see. Just trying to get some decent reference. I mean, that's gigantic, but they're pretty interesting because like I was looking at them and they do some really weird things where they like kind of point up. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting little setup here. So pretty good. That's a pretty good reference. I think that's fake though. No, it's not actually, is it? It might be fake. Anyways. All right, sorry. Just trying to find a reference here that's decent. Just kind of screwing around. Hope everybody. I'm going to check out how you'll do that one. Which one? The Haiku Dot. Welcome. I'm guessing you're I'll check out how you'll do that one. I'm not sure which one that one is. Geez, I'm just looking for a decent shot here of a fir tree. You know what? Maybe we'll just say live Christmas tree. I'll just find some images here. That's pretty good. That's not a Christmas tree. Let's see here. Can we open this image up? Okay. The Home Depot. There you go. This is sponsored by the Home Depot apparently now. Sorry, just trying to find. Oh, that's a pretty good image. Yeah, that's not too bad. That'll work. That'll probably work pretty well. Hey, Ixes, welcome. Let's see here. Random person in that one. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, we've got a couple images here that we can probably use. That one's not too bad. Okay, so the general shape we're kind of going for here is it's almost like an egg, right? Like it's almost egg shape, and then it gets really funky up at the top, which is kind of funny. So yeah, so that's something we'll have to kind of look into and see how we want to do. I want to say general height for a tree is like 6 foot, probably 8 foot, somewhere in that range. So we'll try to stick with that for right now. And then we'll go from there. All right, so let's get started here. Let's do that. Put my little display on. And all right, so let's go to Geo. Let's drop a geometry object down. We'll just say Geo Christmas. Why don't we just say fir tree? Because technically it can be any kind of tree. All right, so let's do this. Let's do oops. If I can hit tab, we'll do line. Easy enough to start with. We can noise that up a little bit. Oh, cool. Natsura. Oh, that's good to know, Carlos. Yeah, those guys are awesome. I'm curious to see what that looks like when it comes out. Looks like it's in beta right now. So yeah, that would be pretty cool to play around with and see. I know they did a lot of work for some SideFX stuff, so that's pretty cool. Nice. Yeah, good to know. Thanks for the info. Okay, so 2 meters is about 6 feet. So let's do like 2.5 meters. That should be decent. So let's do that. So we'll do a 2.5 meter line. Let's see how many points we're going to do here. I think we're going to see a lot of, we're going to have a lot of lines and points and stuff. So why don't we change the background over to a dark gray? Just might show up a little more contrasty for the stream. I'll change my geometry scale a little bit here, just so our points are maybe a little bigger. Hey, Fractaler, welcome, welcome. All right, so we have this here. Let's add some more points to it. I don't know, maybe like 16. That's probably fine. All right, so let's do that, and then let's do an attribute. Let's do an attribute adjust vector that we can do some noise with. So we'll do this over P. So could also use a mountain stop, I guess, but this this could be nice to just to just have something a little bit different here. So let's do that. Let's do an add. We can do noise. And there we go. Let's turn the amplitude down a little bit. We'll say it's 0 centered. And what we can do actually here is we can do a resample node to get the curve U. So that would be nice to do. Let's do this. And let's just turn off the actual resample, and we'll just grab the curve U out of it. So it's going to give us a 0 to 1 attribute value that we can use to mask this off. So we should be able to where is that? Maybe actually mountain would be better. Sorry, just thinking here. Is there a spot here where we can yes, actually that would be better. This looks like this is actually better. So let's do this. We can do this. We don't need to do the noise along vector, right? Okay, so I'm going to turn off the blend for right now. There we go. Okay, cool. So now we're working. So let's do this, and then we can change. We can change our curve U over to something else. We can do an attribute remap just to get that into a usable range, that attribute. So right now the curve U is from 0 to 1. It goes along the whole curve. What we could do instead is we could say curve U. And this is actually going to be the mountain is set up to look for a mask for the blend. So we could actually adjust that. So this is already starting to give us a little something to work with here. And we could turn this down, right, and make this however we want to. Give it a little bit of, a little bit larger element size, because right now it was at, let's see, where was this at? It was at 1. So we can make it more noisy, or we could make it a bit rougher. So let's see how this might look. Yeah, I think actually value of 1's pretty good. And that's probably good. All right, so now we've got kind of a little bit of a curve to this, so it's something a little different. Let's now grab, if we go into here and we go into labs, we can see that there is, I think under geometry, maybe, oh, there's a lot of stuff in here. Boy, there's world building, vegetation, there's all these tree items in here. So what we could just do is hit tab and type in tree, and that should pretty much confine it to the ones that we're looking for. I mean, there's VDB visualize tree and a couple other things, but so let's grab the labs tree controller. This is actually going to control a lot of oh, cool. Oh, sorry. Yeah, an Instagram link. Oh, that's so annoying. I wish there was a way I could like make some of those things more okay. But yeah, I see. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see how people do these things. Yeah. Roberto, all my videos are on YouTube live. So if you're on Twitch, you can find all of the links. I'm sorry, if you're on Twitch, you can just go to HoudiniHangout.com. There's the address right there, and that will send you over to a place where you can get links to either YouTube or Twitch. And actually, all of the past videos are on the website too. They're linked there, so if you want to find them. Or you can subscribe on YouTube, like and subscribe, whatever, that whole thing. But oh, cool. We made one with the simple tree tools. Nice. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what we're going to, well, they're not simple tree tools. I think there is a simple tree. There's a tree one that's something like that. What is it? A quick basic tree. Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, that's cool. Actually, I don't think you can watch VOD on Twitch unless there's some limitations there. And I think, yeah, no problem. I think that has to do with being a affiliate or partner or whatever they call it on Twitch. I do not do that because that opens up a whole can of worms with like, oh, there might be on there for a little bit, but I think they get removed. I'm curious if you have a link, you can shoot me a link over on the Discord if you want to. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. It's a couple months. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe a month. It's like a couple weeks actually, I think. Because I used to have to try to take snippets of them. I did it for a while and it was like super annoying. I was like, oh, this is the worst. So I just stopped doing it because I couldn't keep up with them. I'd forget to do them and then they'd be gone forever. So I was like, yeah, they're just on YouTube. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, they last for a little bit. All the old ones from years ago are on YouTube if you want to watch. So, all right. Anyways, tree controller. So that's going to control a lot of these kind of attributes for us that we're going to be creating here. I actually didn't look and see what this is. There's a bunch of detail attributes. Yeah, I think that's really all it is. Just a bunch of detail attributes. Cool. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then we will do the tree. We'll do the tree trunk generator like this. So it's going to generate a trunk for us. We can take a drawn input curve. If we just look at this by itself, it'll give itself proper, trunk. We want to use our own. So we're going to do a drawn curve. That's good. That will do some work for us. And then if we plug this in, this will control our tree for us. And kind of this will be our general tree controller. Otherwise, I believe each of them need to have their own, can have their own overrides and things like that. But for this, I'm just going to start it like this. So yes, Kumo. Yes, I've done that. I did that for a little while, and trying to keep up with that was a headache. So I've just stopped doing it because I have them all on YouTube. So if you want to watch them on YouTube, they're there. But yeah, anyways. Cool. So, all right, so we've got this. Let's adjust the width of this a little bit, which would be here. Let's see, I think if we go into general, yep. So let's turn the radius down a little bit. We don't need it so thick. So let's bring this down a little bit. Let's take a look at that image again. Maybe, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. So we'll do something like that. And we can change some of these different things here. Like, so we can adjust the noise of this. So if we go to noise, we've got our different noises here, and we can actually, so this is the actual noise for the shape itself. So this will actually add a little bit of noise over top of our original shape. So that's kind of nice, I guess. But the secondary oh no, sorry. This is all the noise for the line. The meshing has noise as well. Sorry. I think that's where it is. Resolution. Where is it? Here. Here. Oh, okay. That must be where it is. Sorry. Noise, mesh noise. There we go. All right. So we'll turn this down a little bit. I don't want it to be quite as noisy. So let's do something like that. And we should be able to, let's see here, for meshing. I'm just trying to think if there's a way that we can adjust that. If we change this, does that do it? No, that does not change it. Okay, I wasn't sure if the line would change it or not here. Trunk shape, noise, mesh noise. Sorry, should be on this. Okay. Just looking to see if there's anything we can do here to give it a little bit more resolution. Thought we could do that under the meshing, but I am not seeing that. End caps. So you can also have roots on these, but they're way too big for this, and we don't really need to do that. That's weird. Anyways, okay. So one thing we can do too is we can actually do the curves only. So we can visualize just the curves here that we might be inputting. So we can adjust this, and I don't think this will do anything either here. No. Okay. Just checking. So this is great. So we've got our trunk. It's working. Not on the resolution tab. Yeah, it is. You're right. Thanks. Thank you, sir. I don't, apparently my brain is just not working these days. All right, there we go. It's on the resolution tab. Thank you. All right, so if we go here, resolution, and then divisions should give us a little more resolution there that way. And then we can get a little bit more resolution that way as well. I think the top is actually curving a little too much. So let's turn that noise down a little bit. On the line noise, we'll turn that down a little. Maybe something like, something like just a little bit here. Just a little bit there. Should be a little better. Yep, that's looking a little bit nicer. And then we can adjust the mesh noise maybe a little bit. And maybe even increase the frequency on this a little bit there. So maybe more like 5. I feel like it's a little bit bumpier than we're giving it credit for here. So maybe something like that is pretty good. We can also adjust the tree trunk radius here. So let's just make it maybe a little bit more straight at the bottom, like so. And then we can, I don't really think it's merging quite as much. Then up at the very top, it gets pretty thin. So let's give it a little bit less there. Something like, maybe something like that. Maybe we'll give this a little bit more thickness at the bottom, like so. Yeah, something like that. Looks good. Looks good. All right. So there we go. We've got a little bit of something going on here. We'll thicken that up just a little bit. I don't know. Cool. Okay. So we've got a trunk, not a drunk. Let's do a tree branch generator. So if we take this and plug it in here, we'll connect both of those. And now this will start to add branches to the tree. Now, obviously, this is not going to look very good because we've got some really funky stuff going on here. The defaults are, I think, much too long for what it is that we're doing. So let's play around with this a little bit and get it into a better state for us. Another thing too to look at here is that these branches are pretty dense in here. I actually kind of wonder if we can get one that's maybe a little bit more sparse, just so we can see the branching structure. You know what? I wonder if we can do this. We can say dead Christmas tree. That actually might help us out a lot here. So let's do that. Okay, that's not bad. Cool. That can kind of help us get some ideas here. All right. So it looks like we've got a pretty dense number of branches here, and they kind of go up in this interesting, they almost look like they kind of all come out from generally the same spot, actually, if you're looking at them. So there's a couple of different ways that you can generate branches here. But let's kind of set some of these things apart here. So first of all, one of the things that'll kind of take a lot of resources is to constantly be meshing these. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to visualize this as the curves. And when we do it that way, we should be able to control this much quicker. So we can kind of mess around with things a lot easier when it's in this sort of light visualization mode. And I think it'll look a lot better for us. So we need to just adjust where this is going to go down at the base. So maybe about there. And I think what we're going to want to do is certainly adjust these parameters. So this up at the top, we want to go way down. So let's do that. And we can kind of see here that we can sort of adjust some things. Now, one thing I noticed in messing around with this was that there is oh boy, where is it? Is it under advanced? This detangle seemed to really mess with some stuff. Now, it's all about minimizing collisions, but I found that it really seemed to kind of mess with some stuff. And I didn't really like that. I didn't like what it was doing. So let's try to turn that off. And then we can kind of control this maybe a little bit better, because now if we see what we've got going on here, like this now like really faithfully follows this shape that we've got going on here, right? And so if we change this length down like so, it's going to really closely try to match this. And we can add some more branches in here. So like, let's really go crazy here for a little bit. Let's do 100 maybe. And then you can see here that we really have a nice amount of branching, right? And it's kind of following this linear, spline right here that we have in this parameter. So let's maybe just tweak this a little bit more, kind of play around with that. And yeah, that's starting to do something sort of interesting. Now, the other thing we could do is we could probably do this. Is it radial? Yeah. So we do this and we sort of reduce it. Let's see if we reduce it way down like that. We can actually have them all sort of come out of the same spot, which is sort of interesting. I'm not sure if I love the branching pattern of that though. Maybe we do this. Maybe we do 5. No, that's not really going to work, is it? I was just thinking maybe we could randomize them per, but it doesn't really seem like it's getting a good randomization there. Oh, we could do that for sure. Maybe randomize it a little bit. All right, let's not do the randomize. Let's just keep it as it is. How's that starting to look? Anything interesting going on there? What angle is that adjusting for? Sorry, it's the branching angle. Okay. Yeah, it's probably the roll. You're right. Probably is. Yes. Well, the roll is randomizing that. So it's randomizing that full roll, and this is randomizing the actual branching angle, which is sort of helping, but yeah, it's this pattern that we want to really kind of adjust. So what we could do is we could do this a few different ways, right? We could do the alternate and go up like that. And we could, I mean, that's not terrible. Yeah, I think actually maybe less than that would be probably right. but it does get kind of lost a little bit in some of these sections. So it's kind of a tricky thing to get these, to get some of these things set up the way we want it to. I'm actually going to branch it at pretty low branching angle because they don't really branch that that strongly. So let's do a pretty low branching angle. So maybe at like 15 degrees, maybe 20 degrees, and then we'll give it a little bit of randomness here. So if we did it, maybe 30. Yeah, maybe 30 is better. Then we give it just a little bit of randomness here. Yeah, I think this kind of going around it like this is going to work a lot better than trying to do the radial one where they're all kind of going in the same spot. It's going to cause some weirdness here, and I don't know if we're going to be able to really mess with that too much. So okay, yeah, let's do alternate here. The other thing that's interesting here is we're doing this angle ramp, right? And so we can set it lower on the bottom and higher on the top. So we could actually do it like this. Then they're going to be much higher at the top like that. So that also sort of works for us as well. We could really kind of, we could use that to get some more of these kind of pointier things happening up at the top here. So they're kind of sticking up a little bit more. Now there aren't actually this many tiny little ones up at the top. So I wonder if we could do a prune here. For at least this one, we could override the pruning, and maybe we could say, unfortunately it's only by angle. That's too bad. Okay. Apparently that's not going to work. Let's see here. Could we just type in a number like 50? No, fortunately not. Doesn't. Oh, or can we? Cool. Okay, so we could prune a few of those off manually if we wanted to. So that's kind of interesting. All right, it's good to know. Directional angle. No, we can't do that. There's not really another one that some noise, blah blah blah. Okay, so that's fine. We can cut a few of those off. Let's go back here and let's up this a little bit, maybe 75. Let's do 90. I think that's going to be pretty good. Get a decent amount here. Okay, so one thing that we want to look at is this kind of tropism, right? So this is the idea that I think as these branches kind of get longer, they're going to sag down a little bit. So let's mess with that a little bit. That's kind of interesting. We're going to get these saggier ones down here. So that's good. That's looking like what we sort of want it to do. Phototropism, that is where, based on like the sun, it's going to grow in a direction, which in this case is going to be this kind of 1-1 direction. So they're all kind of growing in that way, but we don't really want to do that. I don't think. I think that's going to be, we want it to be a little bit more sort of isolate. We want it to not have that much of like that much stuff going on, basically. Thigmotropism, not sure what that is actually. The other thing we can do too is we can do this bend along parent. So that's kind of an interesting one as well. We can set this to allow there to be a little bit of bending. Cool, good. I'm glad. It's always exciting. So you can do these types of things if you want to as well. Now, one interesting thing I'm kind of seeing here is I wonder if, so just looking at this one here, there's kind of this like gap at the top, right? There's kind of these gaps and we don't get these tinier and tinier ones. So that's kind of an interesting thing that I'd kind of like to try to recreate a little bit here. So I wonder if we can't, well, first of all, we're a little high here. I'd like that to go down a little lower. So let's see if we can't have this grow down a bit more. Great. It's looking pretty good. Okay, cool. All right, so then up at the top here, I actually want them to be a little longer. So I kind of almost want them to be like this, maybe. Yeah, maybe they grow a little longer until the very, very end like that. It's actually not too bad. Something maybe more like that. And then what we could do here as well is we could do this as a B-spline. So let's select all of these. And I'm just going to, actually change them here to a B-spline. And that way we can make a much softer kind of spline shape for these to kind of follow along with. So let's do that like so. Then we can sort of give ourselves a little bit of something here. We can kind of play around with these as, you know, as we may see fit. Don't want to make it too full. Yeah, maybe something like that's good. Each node of Houdini is available as paid plugin. Yeah, that does feel that way sometimes, huh? All right, so let's look at these up here and let's see what numbers we're dealing with here. So we've got maybe 90 to, let's see if we go to like 90 to 80. Let's try that. So let's do a little prune on this and we'll say 90 or let's do 80/90. Yeah, that's pretty good actually. That's kind of cool. That's sort of doing exactly what we wanted to. It gets rid of some of those really tiny things at the end, and then we can kind of go from there. That's nice. Not bad. Okay, cool. Looking pretty good. Obviously, you can play with things a bit more if you'd like. Like, for example, we could look at the tree branches here. I don't think there's that much noise on them, but we did adjust the noise here for the line noise. But we could override that, right? So we could override the line noise here, and we could say enable, and obviously that gets a bit crazy, but we could mess with these as well here. And so let's see what we could see if we could come up with anything interesting here. What was the frequency originally? So 1, 0.5. Okay, good to know. So let's do 0.5 there. So maybe we might want to do, you know, maybe we give it a little bit of frequency noise, just to noise it up a little. You know, some like reasonably high frequency noise here. Don't want to go too crazy with it, but just a little something. I don't love that those go to negative, which makes it a little weird. But let's just see here. What does this look like? Yeah, it's kind of nice. Gives it a little bit of randomness. Hey, Zach, welcome. So that's kind of nice. We get a little bit of random noise there. Cool. Okay, great. Let's go with that. So the next thing we're going to want to do is generate some more tree branches. So the next stage of this, I'm going to say, are going to be these sort of branches right here. These branches that are coming off here. So we've got these sort of paired branches that kind of come out. So let's see kind of what we can get up to with those. I don't know if we can see it in either of these very well, but there's sort of these like paired sort of branches that come off, honestly. So let's see what we can do there. So let's do, well, first of all, let's call this primary branches. I should have to recalculate it, but we'll call this trunk maybe. I think it actually takes each of these and puts tags on there for them. So we'll have tags and things like that. If we look at see here, you can see trunk. And then if we go down further, interesting. Why is that not? guess it's putting it on the points. Interesting. Okay. Anyways. Yeah, but we can use that either way. So no problem there. Okay. So we've got our branches. They're named. Cool. Other 3D softwares are just plugins. That's funny. All right, so let's do another branches here. If I can type. Okay, throw that down, wire them together. All right, so now we're gonna have this craziness happening. So let's adjust this way down. And let's undo the detangle. Because even though that's probably helpful, I don't know why it's causing so much issue. All right, so let's grab this. Let's go to placement. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, cool. So let's turn these branching angles down a little bit. I don't think we want them so stiff. And let's try opposite. Let's try that. And so I think what we want to do is, instead of having them be all the way around like this, I feel like we want them to be sort of flat. Whoa, my user. That's good. I like that. So I think we want them to be sort of flat and maybe having a little bit of rotation, but not completely around, because that doesn't feel quite like how these parts of this part of the tree branches. So let's give it an up vector, I think, actually. And that might help us out here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. 180. And then we can give it a little bit of variation, like maybe like 45-degree angle. Then that will give us kind of this like roll as we go along there. So that's kind of cool, giving us a little bit of something. Let's maybe adjust. Let's take a look at that picture again of this dead one. So I don't really think at the end they get that much smaller. Maybe honestly not even that much. They really stay pretty long. So it's kind of interesting. Like my instinct would say that they don't stay as long, but it seems like they kind of do. So let's see here. We'll give them a little bit of length. Maybe what we'll do is we've got a few too many points there. Okay. Maybe we'll just have them be a little bit shorter there. So like something like this. And then we'll let them all be a little bit wider. And can we randomize the roll? Let me see what you're saying there, Chad. Seems like a lot of the primaries are forking into a few different ones in the ref I've got. Now, let me look again. Yeah, there are a couple of... Let me look at that. Let me look at the primaries here. So yeah, that is kind of interesting, and that's a good point. It does almost seem like we have a couple here that have like some really big branches on them, like here and yeah, it's kind of interesting. I don't know how to think about that exactly. Maybe what we do, maybe Maybe what we do instead of this, maybe we do another branch generator here. Put this down. Oh, that's too bad. That like kind of doesn't act great. Definitely something weird going on there with the setup. Okay, let's do this, detangle. Let's say we do placement here. Let's turn down the branch nodes to only maybe like 1, maybe, or 2. Let's do 1. We'll do opposite. We'll do that 180, and we'll do the up vector custom back to 1. And maybe we do something like this, where we get just a few of these big branches, but I wonder if we could do them only only at a certain length here. Like a placement. Is there a placement? Let's see here. I'm just going to turn this down so I can see where they're forking off. So why are we getting such random spots there? Okay, so let's do this. Let's see if I can adjust this distribution ramp. Why do I have a text thing? That's so weird. Okay, anyways. Let's see if I can't. I'll just do a constant with these. That's not what I meant to do. That's weird. No, I guess not. I was thinking maybe I could do that. Let me just try something else here. There's a tree branch placer. That's a hand-drawn one. Yeah, I don't want to do that. That's going to be very annoying. That's kind of interesting, I guess. What if I do this? Oops. That'll really only make ones that are kind of right in the middle long. Oh, that's kind of cool, maybe. Maybe that's working. Why can I not get rid of this? Okay. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That looks like it's working. No, that's fine. No, you don't have to. No, it's great. It's great. I don't mind overcomplicating things sometimes. Let's do this. Let's turn this down just a little bit so they're a little closer to that. And okay, so this is something I'm going to do here because what I want to do is, oh, interesting. That's interesting too. Sorry, just realizing what I can do here. Yeah, I don't think I actually want those to have too much of a ramp. Cool. All right, that's giving me a little bit more control. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. So, sorry. Anyways, what we're doing here is we've got these primary branches, right? And these are branch level 0. Or sorry, these are probably branch level 1. Let's look at that. Let's do branch level. We can see that visualized maybe if I hit control here. Maybe what we could do is we could do ramped attribute from branch level. There we go. And we'll set auto from that. So now we can see this is branch level 0 and this is branch level 1. So what we actually want to do with this one here now that we have this is going to be branch level. Well, right now it's set to branch level 0, which is not what we want. We could do it, set it to branch level 1. And I believe now we're going to actually get these coming off of all of those, which is going to be really important there because if we don't do this, if we don't override the branch level, it's only going to now go to the next branch level basically. So we want to be able to control some of these things, right? Like more specifically. So we're basically saying like, nope, let's override this branch level to be 1 so that now all of these branches are going to have that same, kind of situation with it where we're going to get branching from all of these individual places. So let's see if we give this a little bit more length here. We are definitely getting a little heavier, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And that's honestly feeling pretty good now. Now that we have these side branches here. So let's say primary branches, and we're going to call this maybe something like primary forks. Let's call it that. So those are not just the branches, those are the forks. And we want those to all exist as if they're kind of the primary structure still. So then now these are going to be secondary branches. And the one thing we've kind of been ignoring here is the actual meshing of it, which we could start to get back and take a look at. So if we turn this from curves into the mesh, it's going to really break and probably do something really terrible. So let's see what happens here. It's going to be doing some Booleans and things like that. So yeah, looks absolutely terrible. Let's see if we can't mess with that a little bit. So let's go to radius here. And we should be able to adjust that down. Oh, you know what? You know what I could do? Instead of doing the Booleans and stuff like that, let's do this. Save it. Thank you. And we could just say none on that, I think. And that should speed us up a little bit here, I think. Because right now it's trying to do the Boolean, so we're going to override that for right now. We can just override that mesh. And then if we come here, should be able to probably control this a little bit. Yeah, a little easier. So let's see how big those look. Yeah, they're pretty small. They're not super big. So let's go. So the reason we're doing radius adjust here is because it's basically trying to see the radius of the actual tree that we're working with and scale it based on that, right? So we're trying to give ourselves some sort of radius scale that's relative to the width of the tree, basically. So yes, we're just trying to get that to work for us. Actually, what we might want to do too is not have these fall off quite as far. So maybe here we can change this value to be something more like 0.4 or something like that, and that should keep these a little thicker up here, maybe. So let's see how that looks. Yeah, I think that does. Because if we set this to 1, they should all be now the same thickness, and that's not really what we want. So maybe 0.5 would be a nice one, or wait, is that actually along the branch? Sorry, that might be along the branch. I might be thinking of that wrong. Yeah, that's along the branch. Inherited length profile. Yeah, I think that'll do. I think that's not too bad. And then let's come down here and see what new hell has erupted from these. It'll probably be gigantic craziness. Oh, not too bad. Actually, wow. Shockingly not too bad. Now the reason for that actually, I think, is because we were using the radius of these now that have been adjusted. So now they're going to actually pick up a better, more reasonable radius amount. We can still override the meshing and make them be none like that. Interesting. Did we lose them if we have them Boolean? No, that's weird. What was it, normal? No, that's so bizarre. If we don't override this, we lose one of these? I just saw that. No. Okay. I'm losing my brain, apparently, but that's fine. Here we are. Anyways. Yeah, that looks pretty good, actually. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not too shabby. All right, cool. So let's just do this. We'll override it. We'll let it just be non-Boolean so it doesn't take all that time. There we go. And then let's take a look at these. Let's see what happens here. These might be actually not too bad. We'll see. Because we've adjusted the width of them. So fingers crossed maybe something okay will happen here. What we should probably do actually is just override this on this main one, because I think we're pretty much going down and overriding them on all of them. So it's kind of silly. All right, let me just escape that. Go back here. Let's go up here, meshing, and let's just say none. And then we can de-override. We can unoverride that, I think. It should be fine. And unoverride that. Should be fine. Should be the same. Oops. Yes. And then if we come down here, should hopefully not be quite as crazy. There we go. Great. Yeah, they're a little too thick, but that's okay. We can mess with that. Cool. Yeah, maybe something like that. Let me see what's going on here. I'm sort of curious with these. I wonder if we shouldn't maybe override the tropism a little bit. So hold on, let's actually go back to our visualization that is the just the lines. That'll be easier to see. So maybe what we do here is we give it a little bit. Let me give it a little bit more of the gravitropism. Now, the other thing I'm just noticing is that these tiny branches are getting more, and the big branches are getting less. So, let's just see here what we can do. Yeah, that is nice. That's really nice, actually. Yep. It'll give us a little something there. Bit more strength on those. Okay, so let's do this. Instead of scatter, let's maybe do edge length. Well, that'll maybe do better for us. And if we reduce this, oh boy, don't go too far. Should make it yeah. This is going to make it a little more even for us. We can't go, yeah, we can go further than that. Okay. Maybe something like that is nice. And so with those, I actually think we can go a little bit further with those. Maybe something like that. Huh? Okay, so if the angle variation is 0, it looks like that, which obviously is not what we want. So I'll just play with this a little bit. Yeah, maybe 40 is right. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Oh, wow. That looks a little perfect from the top. Okay. We need to add some randomness in there because that's looking way too perfect. So let's come in here. General. Okay. Let's do something like something a little more there. Let's come down to these primary forks and let's add in a little bit of randomness here. What are we doing? Way too even. Now, which way are those randomizing the roll? Ah, yes, like that. We don't really want to do that too much, I don't think. Okay, that's good. Let's take these. Let's give us some angle variation here. That'll break that up from the top a little. Nice. Instead of so perfect. I mean, it is still quite similar. And let's give this actually a little bit of maybe noise to it, because we did some noise, some line noise here. What do we do here? Did we do any noise here? No, we didn't. Well, what we could do actually is just turn off override line noise and then come back up here, find our noise here for the line noise, and we could mess with that a little bit. And I think that will adjust these. So interesting. Interesting. Okay. Okay, there we go. Override our line noise for those, for the trunk, and then we can set the line noise for everything else. So now let's mess with this a little bit here. I really thought we did this, but maybe we didn't. Undo that. Okay, great. Maybe I undid something and messed it up at some point here. All right, yeah, that's starting to look pretty nice. Just messing with it a little bit. Okay. Cool. Cool. Looking good, looking good. I think what we're going to want to do now is add our needles, maybe, because our needles are going to go onto those and they're going to kind of come off of it. So, let me come back here and see if I can find a close-up of one of these branches. Oh, interesting. I guess there's other firs and things like that. Spruces. Just randomly picking one. Okay, let's look at this. That looks pretty good. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so it looks like we've got this pretty even distribution around the, with the needles and stuff like that. They pretty evenly go around. So I think that's what we're going to do with these needles. So let's try this. Well, first of all, let's turn off the line visualization, see what we got. Yeah, those definitely need to be a little thinner. So let's do that. Radius. Let's do 0.5. See how that does. Yeah, that's maybe pretty good. Okay, let's give that a shot. And then let's go back to the curves only. So let's do another branch generator. And this we're going to call needles. And for this one, we don't want to be that long, although that does look kind of funny. Another thing I'm just kind of thinking about here with all of this is could we? Nope. I was wondering if we could detangle them, but definitely not. It's really weird. I think there's something weird going on with that detangle part. Anyways, I feel like that's like the number one thing that needs to get fixed on this or something. I don't know. Anyways, great. There are needles. However, what in the world is going on here? Oh, yes. We're probably going to want to do that. Undo the inherit parent length. Probably be important. So this is going, let me just make sure these branching levels are right. So this should be 2. These should be 3. Okay. Turn up. Nope, that visualization is actually very helpful. Why am I only getting it up to that point? Okay. What did I just do? These are all growing out to the side? What's happening? Scatter, maybe? Okay, clearly I messed something up there. Let's try that again. Yeah, Christmas tree and hurricane, 100%. Yes. I don't know what on earth just happened there. All right, so let's do some of these things again. Detangle. Okay, let's see here. What can we do to make this better? All right, Chad, thanks. Thanks for the suggestion before. That was great. Very good. Very great suggestion. Thank you. All right, so let's adjust this. So let's maybe just set this to like a, oh, sorry, flat. There we go. That's great. Just set it like so. All right, let's just try to take a look at one of these maybe somewhere here. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a custom up vector again. I think we're going to do maybe 180. What is going on here? Definitely have some weirdness happening. Are normals messed up here? I wonder if our normals got messed up somehow. Okay, let's see here. Well, they all seem to be pointing out like so. Then we add those and they all seem to be pointing properly. Add those and they seem to be pointing properly as well. Okay. Okay, not the worst. All right, so let's maybe set these all to have some sort of very normal length here. Oh, another interesting thing. Does all of them have it? Interesting. Interesting. How far back do they go? Maybe 2 levels. So let's try this, because it looks like right now okay, maybe there's some noise going on here. That's probably what it is. Okay, let's just take that out for the moment, and then we can kind of evaluate this one step at a time. Okay, so we want there to be those along the secondary branches. Okay. So let's do this, the 137.5. Do it alternating. And let's do an edge length, because I think that's going to really give us something nice here. Might have gone crazy there, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean, it's a little crazy, but yeah, we're definitely getting somewhere now. All right, so let's do this. How's that going to go? All right, how does that go to the end? Okay, so to the end, we get sort of a it's going to be relatively slow going here. Could I... Yes. This will be good. I can just do it on a few. That will be good. That will be very good. Let's see here. Where do I want to go? Sure. That one looks pretty good right there. All right. So we've got that. I'm just pruning random ones from generations earlier. So let's do this. Let's figure out what we can do here to make this a little bit better. So we want them all to branch forward a little bit, obviously. So let's do that. We want to give them some length variations. So let's select, oops. Let's do linear here. And let's reverse this. So we'll reverse it like this, and maybe we can do a, change these over to Bezier. Then we can sort of do one of these types of things here. That's weird. What are we doing here? So that. Hmm. What is happening here? Got that. And we have that. Why is that doing what we're seeing here? A little confused here. So I've got this. Then these are not placing properly. Yeah, look at that. They're not going all the way to the end. Why are they not going all the way to the end? There's something fishy going on here. What do we got? What do we have happening here? Do I have something not connected properly? No, they all seem connected fine. All right, let's see here. If we can just do this as secondary branches, does that change anything for us? We'll call these needles. All right, let's see if we can change something here. Let's change this over to from a color to a marker. There we go. Now we can actually see what numbers these are, which is kind of interesting. So that's 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And those are 3. Now, are we running into some weird primitive issue here? No. Well, that's not technically connected, but that's okay. I think because it's meshed, it's not going to make as big of a deal. What is going on here? This is an odd one. Okay. Let's take this back to the colors. Let's see if we can't figure something out here. Whoa. Okay. Now we have them reversed. Very weird. There's something really weird going on with this. Okay. Now we're getting fairly reasonably sized things. However, okay. Okay, so we do a custom up vector, and that helps. Then we adjust the length of these a little bit, like so. Okay. So let's do that. Let's change the length of these a little bit. So we'll do 0.15 maybe. That seems interesting. And then if we turn this to 0, fingers crossed, it's going to put that on the whole tree. Yeah. Cool. That's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty fun. We turn this off. Oh boy. Yeah, that's hard to see. But it's looking a bit like a tree. Boy, that's tricky to see. Guess we'll leave it like that. Yeah, so that's looking pretty good. I mean, it's a little barer maybe than I would want it to be, but that's okay. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm trying to think of how I'd want to do this, because I think what I would want to do is actually do a null down here. And I think if we turn the visualization off, this will now be the mesh of everything, right? And then, so we say this is the, let's see, maybe tree meshes. Oh, that was weird. What was that? And if we do that, I wonder what that's going to do. Because that should give me the curves. Yeah. Oh, that central trunk is way too thick. It's way too thick. Okay, so let's go back to that actually. Let's make that a little thinner. Boy, that's too thick. General. Fingers crossed that won't have broken everything we just did. No, seems fine. Seems fine. Cool, cool. It's pretty good. Honestly, we could probably do some more. Oh, this is going to mesh it. Shoot. I'm actually just going to escape that. We don't need that. Okay, there we go. We don't need that. We don't need that. Thank you. Curves only. All right, so let's come back down here. And so I think we need some more needles here, actually. Let's maybe give that a little variation. Nice. Okay. Can I change? No, I can only override the visualization of probably the color. That's too bad. You can't just do it as curves. I'm going to do that. Hopefully that won't light my computer on fire. Give it a shot, see what happens. Give us a few more curves here. We're making needles. Lots and lots of needles. Okay. Cool. That's looking good. I mean, it looks crazy, but it's looking good. Let's just change this to say tree mesh instead. And then we can do another null here. Call this needles. Back to the future. Okay. So we've got our tree mesh and our needles. That's great. The question actually is for those needles, we're probably getting all of the curves actually at that point, now that I'm thinking of it. So what we'd actually want to do is probably blast out. Oh, excuse me. We'd want to blast out the other curves so that we're not dealing with those as well. Oh, and I think I turned this back to, back to the line representation. Let's do this. Let's do a blast here. And let's only blast, or let's blast needles, and we'll delete the non-selected, and that'll just give us the needles, and there we go. So now if we take that and we set this to be not curves only, I think our visualizer's down at the bottom there. It's fine. It's going to do its whole thing. And then we should be at a decent point. Hold on. All right. And I think if we come down here to this merge, we should be able to, see our tree. And that's, I mean, guys, that's not that bad. Pretty happy with that. For a pretty short little demo here. It's not the not the best, but not the worst. It's something in the middle. Okay, so let's take this and just maybe go one step further with it. So let's do a color here. That's green. Cool. So that's our fir tree. Let's do a lop network. Let's see if we can't render this out a little. We'll call this Solaris. So I don't have to do too much craziness here. Then let's do a couple of SOP imports. So we're going to import the meshes first. So we're going to say tree mesh. And this is going to be the tree mesh, obviously. So we'll bring that in. There we go. And this is angry at me because I don't have a file path set. So I am going to merge that into the existing layer. Cool. And what we're going to do here is we are going to say /tree/OS. That should work. So now I've got tree mesh in there. And we're going to do something very similar. We're going to do a SOP import. And we are going to do this as the needles. Reference the same thing in with the needles here, except merge this into the existing layer. Cool. Yep. There they are. Now they have a width attribute, which we can adjust. In fact, there is a setting here that will adjust that, but let's first change this to /tree. So it's grouped. Then we have tree mesh and needles underneath it like so. That's pretty nice. All right. So I think in here we do import data. No, geometry handling. There we go. So now if we take this and set the missing widths, we can set this to be a little smaller. So maybe it's 0.005. No, maybe it's 0.025. Yeah, it feels pretty good. And I don't think I can set this to be a specific type of curves. We can adjust that in a second. Yeah, we can change how those are rendered. So we've got this, which is cool. Let's do a grid as well. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take both of these and just say /world. So it's going to give us a world primitive as well. Tree with that. Then we're going to put this into /world/OS. So that's going to be our grid. Our mesh, that's just going to give us a ground plane to just mess around with. Let's see here. We're going to merge that in an existing layer. Can we do a material linker? Let's see if we can't come up with material in the catalog. I don't think there's a tree one in here. I don't think there's any like bark or anything. Don't think that would be here. Nope, and I don't think there's like, well, there's wood, but that's not what we want. All right, so let's do this. Let's get the AMD Material X library. Let's say, just call this AMD Material X like that. We're gonna hit accept. And that's where we're gonna write that Material X library. And just gonna scan this over a little bit. We can find here, is there anything like bark? Yeah, there we go. Interesting pine bark. That might be good. Let's see. So let's do tree. Actually, sorry, I'm just gonna say ground here. Okay, it's just angry about that. No problem. Let's take this and set this to our tree mesh. So let's try this and put it there. So that's going to download that and create a material for us. Materials is fine there. That's good. That should be okay. Let's also grab a Karma Physical Sky. That should be nice. And let's grab a camera. And then we can do a Karma node. That's going to give us a Karma render settings and the render ROP for us there. And let's go back into that camera, lock it down. Cool. All right, let's just render this real quick. Hopefully this doesn't freak anything out. See what happens here. What I'm actually going to do is hide the needles. So let's do this. Should hide our needles for us. What do we have here? Yeah, that's fine. It's not great, but it's something. Turn that off and turn this off. Okay, cool. So we've got that. Let's now put those needles back on. So there's a couple things we're probably going to want to do with these needles. Please let me know if anything's getting funky with audio or whatnot, but hopefully we're okay for right now. So here's these needles. They're actually round. I think we're going to want to do those as flat. I think that'll look nicer probably. And definitely we want to make those a little thinner because they seem awfully big. So let's do this, 1, 2, 5. That seems much better. I mean, honestly, the round could work, but let's see if we can adjust these a little bit. So we can just do it here. That's fine. We can do a render geometry settings. It's fine like that. And these are a bunch of options that we have for our geometry. So let's take the needles and drag this into here. And what we should be able to do, we can collapse a couple of these here. I think it's under geometry, so let's look at that. Yep. So let's do render curves as, and we'll set or create this, and we'll say flat ribbons instead. And this should actually give us flat ribbons here that we're going to render these as. So let's see if that'll restart. Yep, sure did. The other thing we could do is oriented ribbons. Let's see that. Yeah, it's not really any different. So yeah, you could probably do those as rounded. You could do those as oriented. You could do those a couple different ways. But I think that's pretty good like that. That'll give us a nice little look. And what we need to do is add a shader to that. And in fact, I'm also going to boost up this Karma Physical Sky a little bit. Just give ourselves a little more light here. And then let's give ourselves a little bit of room to work here. So let's add a quick surface material here. And let's do an assign material as well. There. So the quick surface material is going to be the needle mat. And then here we're going to assign it. So let's grab our needles for the primitives. And we're going to grab the needle material for the material path. Nothing's really going to happen at first because we basically have the same thing. No, I guess they become white now, which is kind of nice. But let's adjust this a little bit. We can do thin walled, I think will be good. And let's change the color to be maybe like darker green, I'm gonna say. So maybe we do something like in here. Maybe cut the color back a little bit. Let's get in closer and see what it is that we're dealing with here. Let's see how those actually look as round now that I'm seeing them. Let's see. Ooh, that actually looks, I think, a lot better. Okay, we'll keep it that way. I think the best thing to do would be oriented ribbons and set some orientation attributes on those, but I'm not going to do that right now. So I think we're going to be good with this. So let's keep with that. Let's go back to our needle material here. We've got these things. What does thin walled look like if we turn that off? Okay. So maybe what we do is give it a little bit of subsurface with some color. I'm just seeing if I can scale this. Oops. Okay. Okay. So probably could have just set that one. So let's just do this, revert to defaults. Set this to 0001. Go. So we could do with some subsurface there. We could, could do this however we're wanting to. Maybe we copy and paste the relative reference there and those get the same color. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe this gets a little less. I'm not the shading expert here, but could be something fun to be had there. And so, yeah, I think there we go. I think we got a nice representation there of our Christmas tree happening. I think that's pretty nice. Let's see. Can we move around here and get yeah, there we go. Just gonna get a nice little shot of it here with the whole thing. I mean, it's certainly not perfect. There's lots of things that could be changed, but I think for a rough idea of how to do something like this, I think it gives you a nice example, and you can kind of play with it and go from there. And you could make it more full if you wanted to. You could change a lot of properties. You could certainly do a lot of different things with it. Oh, you know what? One thing that's probably not good is how much specular is coming off of these. Probably a little too much. So maybe what we'll do is do like that. Just crunch down that specular just a little bit, because I think it's a little too high. Right. So there we go. We've got a nice little Christmas tree going here. I mean, like I said, it's not perfect. Lots of things could be adjusted and changed and things like that, but I think it's a pretty nice, it's not that bad. Gives us a little idea of what you can do with some of these tools that come default in Houdini. And it actually, is something that you can do for free. And then you could obviously look into other, you can go to other, plugins or other packages or things like that might have maybe, larger tools than just this. And, hopefully you can understand some of what those might be doing then. And we can go from there. So yeah, I think that's going to be where we're going to leave this for this evening. It's kind of a fun little thing to do before, the holidays come around, at least if you celebrate them. I think this is kind of a neat little render. Nothing too crazy, just a fun little tree. What am I, Bob Ross? But yeah, hopefully this gives you a better idea of how some of these things might work. And so for the coming weeks, just so everybody knows, next week, next Wednesday is Christmas Day. So I will be busy personally and won't be doing any streaming. And then the week after that will be New Year's Day. Still TBD on if I'm going to do anything, mostly because I know I won't be out like partying late or anything like that. So I won't be, yeah, Christmas lights around the branches. Exactly. Yeah, you could do that. Sure. That'd be cool. I'd love to see if anybody was interested in taking it a step further or doing anything more. Maybe more branches are needed. It's a little sparse, but it's kind of fun. It's something. But yeah, so like I said, TBD on if we're going to do any stream on New Year's Day. But so this very well would wrap it up for the year, I guess. This is the last stream of 2024. So hopefully you guys have all learned stuff this year. I'm very thankful to everybody that watches and comments and chats and things like that. It's super nice to get to talk to you all and have conversations and things like that. It really means a lot to me. I mean, I started this a couple years ago and never really thought that I'd have many people watching, and it's just nice to know that people do find it helpful and entertaining and things like that. So thank you all for joining and watching this year. Got some ideas for things to do next year and for some stuff to kind of explore and look into. So definitely lots more things to come. And I've got some things that I'll be doing for work and stuff like that in the new year. Probably going to be getting into a lot of rendering, honestly. So I have to embrace my sort of fear of rendering and get a little bit more into it. But these things will come, and hopefully I'll learn some new tricks and things like that, especially with Karma and with USD and things like that. So anyways, yeah, thank you all so much. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. And one way or another, I'll be back in the new year, whether it's on the 1st or whether it's the week after that. I'll be back with some new content to bring to you. But yeah, everybody, I hope you have a safe holidays if you're celebrating them. And if not, I hope you just have a great end of your year. Enjoy a new year. And we'll be seeing you guys all hopefully sometime soon. But that'll be it for this stream and for the year. So I guess I'll sign off and see you next year. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.